So, this is going to be my review of the Amphibia series finale. I almost said season finale. I was like, oh no, we are done. We're done. That's we're done. That's the end. That's all she wrote. I wasn't ready, guys. I was not ready in any way, shape, or form because, you know, there are some really great finales in cartoons. I think in animation, Gravity Falls is a good one. Batman Brave and the Bold, that's an underrated ending right there. That one was... I think a lot of people forget how good the ending for Batman Brave and the Bold was. And I think this is up there, because this one made me almost cry at the end. Like, this one almost made me cry, and I was completely blown away of how good it is, and like how unapologetically anime it went, because Matt Barley has said like anime was a huge inspiration for this. So like with Dana Terrence saying that anime was a big inspiration for Owl House. So I was expecting like he just went full anime. He just decided to go full anime. I am remiss if we never get pop. I will be so mad by Disney if we never get pop figures of Anne, Sasha, and Marcy in their essentially god forms, because that was really cool. I really enjoyed that. I liked the armor. I liked just the I just like seeing all of that. Like, I just love seeing that fight sequence. And you can clearly see that he just decided to go, I'm going to go full anime. And Matt Barley and the crew just went, we're going to go full anime and you can't stop us. I really like that. I really enjoyed just everything about the animation in that moment. And now here come all the DBZ fans going, can they beat Goku though? Like, I already know, like, Marcy, Ann, and Sasha are going to be thrown into that that big line of who could beat, who would win? Like, can they beat Superman or Goku? The answer is, it depends on the writer. Like, it's always that it depends on the writer. You know, writers. Let me break something down for you, all you power scalers out there. It's bullshit. It's all bullshit. It all depends on who's writing. Like, that's how it is. The writers are the ones who are the most powerful beings. You know. And he's like, oh, about Death Battle. Death Battle is just for entertainment. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. Sorry about that. But no, let's talk about some other stuff in here. The Core, I think, is a decent villain. I don't think it's a... I think it's a nice, like, endgame threat, and I loved all the, like, machine, cybernetic monsters. The Core was very much like Brainiac. It was very much like Brainiac, and if you guys know me, then you know Brainiac is one of my favorite DC villains, and probably one of my favorite comic book villains in general. So, to have a villain who's a lot like Brainiac, and also have, like, what is essentially a fucking war world at the end of the series, I thought was perfect. I thought that was a lot of fun to see that at the end. I also really enjoyed just the heart of this, and that's what's always been with this show is the heart of it, and this one really punches you in the gut several times because you know this is the end. And you already knew from the beginning that this was not going to end well. Like, there was no way, shape, or form this show was going to end on an all happy note. It also wasn't going to end on a bad note either. Looking at you, Star versus finale. Like, the more I think, like, I know I'm going on another tangent here, but the more I think about the Star versus finale, the more I like hate it. Like, the more I just hate it. But, yeah. This is, like I said, this... actually, let me talk about something real quick, and I'm sure other people have brought this up. When Anne dies and encounters what essentially is God, did anyone else get, like, I know that's supposed to be, like, a big anime thing, and a lot of people have been comparing it to Evangelion. I was kind of comparing it more to Space Dandy. If you guys remember the ending of Space Dandy, um, that that ending basically revealed that the narrator was God and trying to convince Dandy to be God of the multiverse. And that's kind of like, I was actually thinking, like, I know a lot of people compare it to the Evangelion, or some people have said like FMA, but I was thinking Space Dandy because that's how my brain works. But it was a lot more like, it's less comedic than in Space Dandy, where in here, this story, it felt like Anne basically told God, I'm not worthy. Like, I'm just a 13-year-old who's made a ton of mistakes, and I just made the right choice because I'm an idiot. So, but yeah, at some point when Anne dies, she's going to become God, essentially. Like, that's the end game. Like, now we know, like, in the future, like, Anne's going to become God. Excuse me. Excuse me. But yeah, we just know Anne's going to be God in the future. So there you go. That's actually yeah, you can throw a dart at whatever anime you want to reference at this point. But yeah, so this was a beautiful note. I loved also the little things here and there. Andreas isn't fully forgiven. You can clearly see he's all locked up and still being punished for his actions. It's not like, oh, we forgive you. It's more like, no, you were kind of an asshole, and it's going to take a long-ass time for you to be forgiven. I loved the design for Polly when she's now like a kid. I like that. I also like Sprig, who they clearly took reference from Dipper. They again, which makes sense because Matt Barley and a lot of the crew did work at on Gravity Falls, so it makes sense they put him here. I also really liked basically saying, it was kind of like the Blubs and Derlin thing from Gravity Falls, where we basically say, yeah, Yunin and Olivia are a couple. Like, they straight up went, yeah, they're a thing. Fuck you, Disney. We're gonna do it anyway. Which I'm like, everyone else was like, Sasha and Marsan. I'm here like, Yunin, Olivia. I was the guy in the back going, Yunin and Olivia. Where's that spin-off show, right? Anyway, I really liked, also, I was kind of hoping, and this is just me, I was kind of hoping Sasha just stayed on Amphibia because that's where she learned to grow and evolve as a person. And we never really got a lot of her parents, so it would have been cool if she just stayed and became the leader of the Toads. I was kind of hoping for that, where because for all intents and purposes, the closest thing she ever had to, like, from what it looks like a real father was Grimes. And I was like, the Grimes one hurt the most for me, because, but yeah, the Planters that was a joke, but the real one, yeah, Planters one, that tore my heart out. But the Grimes and Sasha one was also a lot of fun, because, yeah, it was basically like Zuko and Iroh. For the most part. But one person, let me rephrase that. One person, I was looking on like a YouTube comment, someone said that it's basically like Grimes and Sasha's relationship is literally like if Iroh traveled if Azula and Iroh were traveling around the world hunting the Avatar instead of Zuko. That's a nice little what-if story, I'm sure. Yeah. Oh yeah, let's talk about the ending, like the 10 years later time skip. And of course, people are saying, oh, it was a hoax. I'm like, of course, fucking humanity. The stuff I actually like. While I was like a little bummed that Sasha didn't stay in Amphibia, I liked where they went with her, because in the future they reveal that she's a psychiatrist helping people with trauma, helping children with trauma. I was like, that's really cool. I was like, okay, I really like that. I really like the idea of characters becoming helping others with their psychological trauma. It's actually like a lot of people have kind of speculated like this is what Helga would be if they did a Hey Arnold adult series where she becomes a psychiatrist to help others with her trauma. So I feel like Matt Barley was on that theory train for Hey Arnold adult and said, I'm going to put that with Sasha. Yeah. Marcy being a online manga artist, shocker to no one, but Anne being a herpetologist at the end was Chef's kiss. That was wonderful. I really liked that. Anne basically comes full circle with all of this. It was cute, but my inner herpetologist was like, Anne, why are you free-handling the frog? You should know that absorbing, any kind of skin contact for a frog is freaking death sentence. Because, for those who are not in the know, amphibians absorb moisture through their bodies. And when you free-handle them, even if you do not... Also, if you want to own a frog, do not do this. Don't wash your hands with, sanitizer or soap when you are about to handle them, because they'll absorb that and it's toxic to frogs. But any kind of skin contact, for the most part, is lethal to frogs, because when you free handle them, they absorb any kind of bacteria or whatever on your hand. So I can only hope that Anne cleaned her hands thoroughly, or should have at least been wearing gloves, for God's sake. Also, people are going to say, "Oh, but that was a poison dart frog, right? That was a species of poison dart frog." Another fun fact, and I know I'm going on a lot of tangents here, but if poison dart frogs are actually really good pets if you do not feed them certain animals. If you just feed them worms and stuff, then they won't become poisonous. If they eat certain ants or spiders or something like that, they absorb the venom and it goes in their body. If you deny them poisonous stuff, awesome. But yeah, so that's why I wasn't panicking, I wasn't weirded out by that. It was just, where are the gloves, Anne? You're a herpetologist, you work at this fucking zoo, you should know this. Anyway. So other than that little nitpick, just tiny nitpick that I could just go, meh, get out of here, nitpick. This was a beautiful show. From front to back. I loved it. I loved the whole series, and I wasn't on board with it. I was just okay, this will be a fun little show, and then it grew into something spectacular, and I was happy to be part of the ride. I really was happy to be part of this show. Disney really cucked it, for lack of a better word, and, thank you. I know he's never going to say this, but thank you, Matt Barley. Thank you, and thank the rest of the crew for making a beautiful show. And I can't wait to see what else he'll come up with in the future. Because this was great. I think, I know a lot of people are on the Owl House train, which that season 2 finale is coming soon, and I'm not emotionally ready yet. I don't think any of us are. But a lot of people forgot how good storytelling was for that show, for Amphibia. The humor was great. The drama was spectacular. For a show about frog people and 3 girls lost in another world, basically an isekai, this show was a work of art. This was a great show. I know it was supposed to get a 4th season, but I guess Disney was like, nah, you're only getting 3. So that's why it felt like 2 seasons in one. Because I'm pretty sure if they had gotten the 4th season, then we would have gotten the whole go back to Amphibia. But season 3 would have been, the planters on Earth a lot longer. But I think, even despite all of that, they put a really good show on. And it was perfectly paced. It was great. So, yeah. Thank you again, Matt Barley. Thank you again, the entire staff. I know, and voice actors, everyone. I know they'll never see this, but it was awesome. It was a beautiful show. So, you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of the Amphibia series finale? Did you guys like it, hate it? Comment below, let me know. And as always, if you haven't already, hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon. Other than that, I am Mr. Multiverse. For Patreon, if you want to check out exclusive videos and all that, other than that, I am Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.